Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, September 9th, 2022. Welcome to another eBay video. Today I'm going to discuss reacting to angry buyers who try and buy your items only to find out they've been blocked from a previous misdeed. I think you'll enjoy that. I'm also going to talk about buyers sending you reasonable best offers and then after that asking you questions about the item. That's trouble. I'm going to talk more about any eBay topics that I think are worthwhile. Plus I'm going to talk about your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Now, as you can see right now, it's sunny out. It was cloudy and rainy almost every day since my last video. The Labor Day weekend was awful. However, it's beautiful today and it's going to be beautiful tomorrow. But after Saturday, you can see the clouds roll in tomorrow and then nothing but more clouds and rain right through the week. But I've always said, if I can get one or two sunny days, I'll shut up and be happy, which is why I haven't been complaining as much as usual about the weather. 1 or 2 sunny days, I'm happy. I took a lot of pictures this morning. Let's get started with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week. Fluffy007 wrote, LOL, that dancer story made me laugh so much. You did the correct thing and Joe refusing to sell to this dancer was right. Because if you unblocked and sold to her, not only is she a dancer, this means she's making you dance the tango with her. Furthermore, she'll think twice about going all Karen without reading listings properly in the future, and that not all good sellers will put up with her nonsense. Good job, Joe. On the same topic, Sumo's mom wrote, I would not have unblocked her, but I would be worried she would give me negative feedback because I canceled the transaction. Aren't you? Absolutely not. You know why? Because if she did give me negative feedback, eBay can clearly see in the eBay contact system she outright refused to pay, claiming I was charging her extra fees when it was in fact sales tax from her local state. Not worried a bit. That's why it's imperative. Keep all contact through the eBay contact system. On calling buyers when they send you their phone number through the eBay contact system, Jay Gray wrote, nope, I would never call them. As always, love the life stories. Once my spare blew up, shredding just like the old turkey being cut in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie. Sitting in my car for years with the temperature changes had ruined it. Jay Gray, 2 quick points in your comment. Number 1, although I absolutely detest holiday movies, I love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is the only holiday movie I go out of my way to always watch. It is so funny, and Chevy Chase is just plain great in that. And so are all the other actors and actresses. Also, in the future, I want to tell you guys a great story about me riding a flat tire for a long distance. Remind me about that. Michael Mateus wrote, I have always paid immediately on best offers. My parents taught me to pay promptly and pay your debts. If I want the item, I pay with joy and enthusiasm. Michael, I always pay my debts right away too, and all my eBay best offers. But I am shocked how many eBay buyers wait the full 4 days to pay when sending best offers. It's the truth, man. A comment from Sumo's mom, another comment. The same thing happened to me today. A buyer messaged me and said, you better give me a refund, you F-bomb, after she opened the case and wrote, quote, this B did not give me a full refund, unquote.
It was buyer's remorse case, and I withheld the shipping costs. And guess what? eBay went ahead and reimbursed her the $3.58 for shipping. So as a seller, I'm nothing, right, eBay? Well, Sumo's mom, as far as eBay refunding the buyer, I think that's basically a bot that refunded her. However, I am saddened by the fact that eBay will not take action against abusive buyers like the one you encountered and the one I encountered last week. As I said, to be fair, I did not, repeat, did not call or contact eBay because I didn't feel it was worth my time. Flipping ain't easy, wrote. I'm so proud of myself. Not only did I guess what you were going to do and say, I also guessed the buyer's response word for word. These are the same buyers that eBay continues to protect, and I guarantee you if you reported him tomorrow, he would still have an account next week. John, you're totally right. I agree with you, which is why I didn't report them. I still choose not to report them because eBay will not do a thing when a buyer curses you out or threatens you. Quite a few sellers are getting very vocal about this. I'm not saying the policy is going to change at any point, but it might. Right now I have my ear to the ground, listening to some rumblings, and I'll let you know anything when I can. Denver Flipperer wrote, I would have totally ignored the guy who wanted the phone call. The few times I had buyers or potential buyers ask, I tell them everything concerning eBay must be by eBay's rules, must only be through the email system for their record. You're totally right, Denver Flipperer. I agree with you, and I always keep all contact with the eBay system. And no, I did not call that guy, and I never will. I don't know if I told you last week, but I even took the precaution of blocking his phone number from calling me here. Of course, he could call with another number, but still, I took the extra step. I do not want to talk to them on the phone. They have not earned the right to talk to me. They bought the item on eBay. They can talk to me on eBay, all right? That's fine. They're not calling here. Dennis Copper wrote, I block for just contacting me. No bad buyer on eBay should be messaging me. They have a 99.99% chance of being blocked. My items up for sale say it all. I blocked quite a few this week, and I also heard from some blocked bidders. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. ZXC Gary wrote, I get more magicians than dancers. I got a magician in the coin category. He bid on a coin and then disappeared. I blocked him without saying a word. I waited 36 hours and then I relisted it. I don't wait 4 days. He went on to say, some cars don't even come with spare tires. A good example is the 2018 to 21 Hyundai Kona with all-wheel drive and 1.6 turbo engine. I wouldn't take all-wheel drive even if they gave it to me for free. It's useless in the DC area. Gary, as far as the cars are concerned, I agree with you about all-wheel drive. I have no use for it. I don't want it. And there are certain cars I would never buy. And Gary, you probably won't like this, but I would never buy a Hyundai of any kind or a Kia. Those are two cars I avoid with like the plague, because those are two car companies that load every one of their cars up with needless options that people don't ask for or don't want, just to inflate the price of the car. For instance, you can buy a base Honda, you can buy a base Toyota. Cars like that are good quality cars. They give the customer a choice of what they want. But Kia and Hyundai, right off the top of my head, are the absolute worst. The absolute worst when it comes to cars loading up unnecessary options. Gary brought up a point where he blocked this particular bidder
after 36 hours without saying a word. Very quickly, here's a story that was on Facebook yesterday. A seller sold an item to a buyer, and the buyer never paid. Instead of waiting the 4 days and just blocking the buyer and relisting it, the seller sent the buyer what I will call a nag message. It said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing this, "I'm writing to tell you that you only have 6 hours left to pay before this item will be relisted. Should you not pay within 6 hours, you will get an unpaid item strike on your account by eBay. I don't want to see this happen to you, so I encourage you to pay within 6 hours." The buyer then wrote back and got very angry with the seller, saying, "Don't nag me to pay. I have 4 full days to pay, and I'm going to wait the 4 full days." My question to you, do you guys ever send out a nag message to a buyer who hasn't paid you? I absolutely never do. That's not my job. I don't hold people's hands for a living. If they're not going to pay, they're not going to pay. End of story. All right? I don't want any communication with these people whatsoever. I want them to buy my item. All right? If they take 4 days, I don't like it, but it's a necessary evil. I accept it. I'm not going to nag them. I'm not going to send them reminders. So everybody in the group, in the Facebook group, seemed to agree with my line of thinking, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you nag your buyers when they haven't paid? Last comment is from Robert Swank. He actually asked a question. I posted a reply or question on here, and I do not see it. Joe, did you remove my posting? Robert, absolutely not. I absolutely never remove anybody's post unless they personally attack me. And if they do personally attack me, I not only remove their post, but I remove them from the channel, and they can never question me. All right? So, Robert, I don't know what your comment was or what it said. If you want to repeat it, go ahead. You are free to do so. Okay. Let us now talk about the topics of the week, and there are several. I'd like to talk about buyers who either send you a best offer and then after the best offer backpedal and ask questions, which is otherwise known as dancing, or buyers who actually buy your item and then start nagging you immediately. I have 2 quick stories. I'm going to have to read from my iPhone, and of course I didn't set this up ahead of time, which is great, but I can talk and look at the phone at the same time. So a couple of days ago, I get a question from a prospective buyer on an item. And he basically says to me, I want you to reduce the shipping cost. Now guys, as you know, that is something you should never ask me. That is a good way to be instantly blocked by Cute Joey. I don't want somebody asking about reducing the price of the item because I have the capability of doing that. I can do that. Now, as luck would have it, when this buyer sent me the message, I was on the road and I got the message through mobile. I read the message, and of course my first instinct was to block the guy. My actual plan was to block him and then write a message to him like I always do and say, I have no control over shipping costs. I'm not going to lower them, but I am blocking you. Try and get them locally. That was my plan. All right? In fact, I was heading home when it happened. What happened next shocked me. Within 15 seconds, cha-ching, the buyer pays the full amount for the item and the shipping. Now I'm on a little bit of alert, okay? I went home. I immediately boxed the item and printed out the shipping label. As you know, when you print the shipping label, the buyer is notified the label has been printed. The next morning, I went to the UPS store with all my boxes, and they scanned in all of the shipping labels, okay? So now it's recorded, there's a scan recorded, okay? Around lunchtime, I get the first nag message from this buyer. And it just went downhill after that. So now I'm going to read these to you. All right, the buyer wrote, "When will these ship?" I answered, "I'm a little surprised you would even ask me this. All you have to do is check your purchase history and you will see that UPS picked them up this morning. If you want to follow the tracking, just click on the tracking number that I provided and it will show you step by step where these items are." Cut and dry, to the point. He writes, and he wrote back to me within a minute, if that. And this is an exact quote. "Calm down, pumpkin. It was just a simple question, considering it doesn't show any tracking yet, sweet cheeks. Thank you." All right? I read the comment, and while I'm thinking about it and digesting it, he writes this: "I think I'll just perform a return now. Thank you." He's threatening to return the items even before he got them. So I have that to look forward to. I've checked his feedback left for other sellers, and he's fairly generous with the negatives. But since he's already started with the veiled intimidation and veiled threats, I'm not too worried about this guy. Second interesting buyer wrote to me and said, "I'm trying to buy this item and it won't let me. Why can't I buy this item from you?" You may remember in last week's video, it was either last week or the week before, I told the story about a buyer who sent me a best offer for a Lincoln hub. I accepted the offer. A couple of minutes later, instead of paying, he sent me a best offer for a similar but not exact Lincoln hub. I accepted that offer, rationalizing that either A, he had two similar Lincolns that weren't exact and he needed a hub for each, or B, possibly he only wanted to buy one and was going to try and cancel one. But I figured at least I'd get one sale out of this guy. Instead, he turns around and cancels both. I was in a bad position because he hadn't paid yet, and I didn't want to keep my popular Lincoln hubs off the shelf for 4 days because they sell quickly, this particular model. So I had to bend down and acquiesce to his cancellation. But as you know, unreasonable and unwarranted cancellations to cute Joey are met with automatic blocking, and that's what happened. Side note, both those Lincoln hubs have sold during the week. They're gone, and they sold for more money than this cat was offering. So, when I got this message the other day, it's this same guy trying to buy the same hub that I had relisted before it just sold again. And I wrote to him and said, "You're the guy that canceled on 2 of my items. You caused me aggravation and you caused me time. And you will never, ever get another hubcap from me as long as I live. You are permanently blocked." I went on to say, "Just to be sure I know you're out of my life for good, I am going to send you a link to another seller who has the same identical hub. Buy it from him. Be sure to contact him first and send him a lowball offer like you did to me." And that was that. He's out of my life. I'll never have to worry about him again. I made more money by selling to other buyers. There are plenty of good buyers out there, okay? Not every buyer is a good buyer, okay? Just like not every car is a good car. Dennis Copper made this comment months ago about not every single buyer online being the ideal buyer. Last week, I had a set of antique Dodge hubs listed for $202.50. A cheapskate sends me an offer of $100. I automatically decline every offer that offers me less than 50%. It's just a personal affront to me. And depending upon the mood I'm in, they usually get blocked as well. So, in this case, decline. Do you know that two days later, a different eBayer, totally unrelated to this cheapskate, comes in and spends the full $202.50 for the item? This is a perfect example of why it's imperative that sometimes you have to wait for that right buyer. eBay is a big company. There are plenty of good buyers out there. Be patient. They'll come to you. You don't have to seek them out. Now let's move on to yesterday's eBay seller check-in preview. How many of you guys attended it? If you did attend it, comment below. I saw quite a few familiar names at the event, and some of you guys shouted me out, and I responded in kind. I learned something important yesterday. Not from the seller check-in preview per se, but I was invited to do a Zoom session with some eBay employees from product development. I was fortunate that they reached out to 3 of us from 3 different categories. I was parts and accessories. They reached out to somebody from sneakers and somebody from collectibles. And they asked us the same questions, and we had to give our answers live on camera to the development team. And I learned something interesting about immediate payment. For the longest time, I've been moaning about immediate payment for best offers not being available yet. And for the most part, it's not available. They had said it was going to be rolled out this summer. I haven't gotten a straight answer when everybody will have it, but in my personal opinion, it ain't going to happen this year. I don't think so. It doesn't look very good. But let's just say somewhere down the road it does happen. Do you know that that will have no effect on sending offers to watches? What is called SIO, Seller Initiated Offers. Now, I know nothing about coding, but what I was told was the coding is totally different for seller initiated offers than it is for best offers. It's 2 totally different things. So if at some point they get it straightened out with best offers and they allow us to accept immediate payment, that will not affect at all seller initiated offers. I didn't know that. I know it now. Now you know it too. Sales this week were extremely strong again. How are you?
Talking to somebody?
Yes, I am. It's all right.
Sorry. I just wondered if you had the middle piece for...
It's called the center cap.
Yeah, that.
Let's have a look.
I lost it somewhere.
A lot of people do. You're not the only one. Sales this week, as I said earlier, were very good. I have no complaints at all. I only had 1 return all week. Wrong size doesn't fit. The other return that we talked about last week still has not closed because the buyer, of course, has not acknowledged that he received the refund, and eBay is no longer automatically closing the case when we give a full refund of the purchase price for wrong size doesn't fit in eBay Motors. I don't like this new policy one bit, and I've let my feelings be known. That's basically all I'm going to talk about right now as far as eBay is concerned, because we're getting on in time, and I don't like to keep these videos going too long. because I think the optimal time is 25 to 30 minutes. I was going through my papers here and I came across, this is from a few weeks ago. Remember when I gave you guys a choice of 4 possible life story topics? All right? I didn't do any of them because that particular day the video ran really long. Okay? Now, most of you guys wanted a crook jumps into my car. A few wanted the Taylor pork roll caper. I don't think anybody wanted the toll booth incident or Thur. Okay? Unfortunately, the one that's the quickest to tell is Thur. And I don't really have much time today. So with that, I'm going to tell you the Thur story. Okay? This happened back in the mid to late 1980s. You may remember back then there was a popular movie series called The Karate Kid. It was about that kid in California who was being bullied and the Asian... Uh-oh, what do we got here? We got something live on the air. eBay notification! Let's see what it says. An offer of $20. How much am I asking for it? I'm asking $30. $30 or best offer. Let's see who I'm dealing with. I am going to accept it. Offer accepted. Good to go. Okay, the Karate Kid franchise. You all remember what those movies were about. Now, at the time, I had a friend of mine who lived in the Bronx who was about 6 or 7 years older than me. And he had an older sister who had kids. She had 2 kids. I believe their ages were 14 and 11. And they were both fans of the Karate Kid movie. And the older kid, who was 14, had a little bit of a lisp. All right? Like, instead of saying yes, he would say yeth, that kind of thing. Not real noticeable, but kind of. But it's the kind of thing that, I don't even think about. And I would only see these kids periodically. So, on this one particular night, my friend took me over to his sister's house. I'm not sure why we went over, but I do remember it was during the popularity of the Karate Kid movies. And both kids were so into the movie that they decided to take up karate. They were novices. Whatever you start out with. It might be white belt, I don't know, but whatever. So I got talking to the older kid, and I said, is it like they portray it in the movie? Does your instructor make you call him sensei? And I figured he was going to say yes. And the kid says no. He makes us call him Thur. I said, what? He makes you call him Thur? And the kid says, yeah. I said, geez, that's odd. I thought he would want you to call him sensei like they do in the movie. And the kid says, no, he wants us to call him Thur. I said, that really mystifies me. Is his name Thur? And the kid says, no. I said, I'm so freaking screwed up in the head. What am I missing here? The guy's name is not Thur, but he wants you to call him Thur. It makes no freaking sense, I said to him. Why? Why does he want you to call him Thur and not sensei? He said, Thur! Yes, Thur! And without thinking, I blurted out, oh, sir! And he gave me one of those pouty little kid looks that only a little kid could muster. I mean, you know me. You know me. I'm not making fun of the kid, but you have to admit that is kind of a funny story. That is the third story. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Each Friday, I make these videos to try and help you stay successful on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comment section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be glad to do it. I hope you guys had a great sales week. I know I did. Rock on! Make a lot of money on eBay, and peace!